While it may not be the story across the rest of this country, opening day is certainly a holiday in Cincinnati. An opening week in the Queen City presented by Mitsubishi Motors. It all begins, of course, at 10:30 in the morning local time with the 91st annual Finley Market Parade. George Grand, for the first time in 18 years, is riding in the parade and not here as part of the broadcast team, although he will drop by a little bit later. And a capacity crowd on hand at Great American Ballpark on an absolutely beautiful Monday afternoon, April the 5th in Cincinnati. And while he's not in the booth today, part of the parade, and now a thunderous ovation as George Grand will throw out the ceremonial opening pitch of this 2010 season. And guess who's behind the plate on the receiving end? The Grand Marshal of the Finley Market Parade, the Hall of Famer Johnny Bench. Of course, George, a two-sport performer at USC, both in football and baseball, a strike on the inside corner to unofficially kick off this 2010 season. Well done indeed, George Grand. And hi again, everybody. Alongside Chris Welsh, I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Reds Baseball. Chris, we've been doing this in Cincinnati for 134 years. Baseball's oldest professional franchise. And I think players from other teams, those that come and join the Reds, maybe go play elsewhere, will tell you there's no opening day like it in all of baseball.
Well, it never gets old. It doesn't get old for the fans. Those fans that have been to opening day maybe 50, 60, 70 years in a row. I mean, it's amazing how many people plan their calendars around this day. This is not only the beginning of the baseball season, it's the beginning of the whole new springtime and summer. You know, gone are the 3 feet of snow that we had all winter long. Now you're ready for baseball. That's why it's such a festive day.
There's a lot of optimism about this Reds team here in 2010, and certainly you can look yourself in the mirror, and maybe, Chris, unlike past years where you were hoping and doing a lot of praying, there are legitimate reasons to be excited about this version of the Reds.
Well, this team's got a very nice combination of youth and experience. Some guys that the Reds have brought in, like Scott Rowland, Orlando Cabrera, Ramon Hernandez, to bring some experience and some leadership to this team, and the emerging talents of the young players that we've seen over the last few years, like Jay Bruce and Joey Votto coming to age, and Brandon Phillips has come to age and a legitimate superstar, and the young pitchers like Cueto and Homer Bailey, and down on the farm Aroldis Chapman. You can only name a few of them now, but the Reds have a bunch of them. There's more depth here than I've ever seen in my 18 years as a broadcaster, and that is one reason why.
That's for a brief passing shower. Looking good out here. Let's send it back to Tom.
All right, John, great to have you with us, and here we go. We begin the 2010 baseball season. A swing and a miss by Skip Schumacher, and we're underway.
I've watched the Cardinals recently because in his last spring training start, he walked 6 batters, which is very un-Chris Carpenter-like. He usually has precision-like control.
This crowd just waiting for some kind of a jolt to get him into this ball game. Of the 10 outs recorded by Carpenter, 7 have been ground ball outs. That's something you talked about at the beginning of the game, Chris.
You're going to see it out of just about every one of these pitchers in the rotation for the Cardinals. They love to pound the bottom of the zone.
In the air by Votto. Pretty well hit, and this is that jolt the crowd's looking for. Unbelievable power to the opposite field. We've seen it since he was brought to the big leagues for this young Canadian. 2 for 2, and the Reds on the board.
Well, Carpenter wanted to come in. It looked like he wanted to have that little cutter or slider come in on the hands, and he got it out over the plate. And Joey Votto takes it the other way, and you've got to be some kind of strong to be able to do that. The ball just kept going and going. He's been locked in the last few days down in spring training. He was hitting the ball very hard. Take a look at the pitch to our Fox Tracks view. It was a breaking ball, 88 miles an hour, so that's a slider, only a 4-inch downward break, and landed about 400 feet away.
breaking ball away. And Brandon Phillips, who bounced out to the second baseman his first time up, with a count of 1-2. Most people feel as though Votto is right on the cusp of joining the truly elite hitters in all of Major League Baseball, and it's very hard to argue, as Phillips has gone on strikes, with everything that Votto has done since being brought to the big leagues. The only thing clearly that didn't go his way, we talked about the death of his father, Chris, a year and a half ago, and he had a lot of issues during the offseason, carried those into the regular season last year. Once he returned to the team, he started 82 of the final 83 games. And he was the best hitter in the entire National League over the last 2 months of the season. And this one is driven into left center field by Rowland. It's a 3-2 game. So all of a sudden, the Reds down 3-0 and extremely quiet. Have a pair of home runs in the inning.
Boy, Scott Rowland got a fastball that came back up out over the plate. A lot of movement on the fastball for Chris Carpenter, but when he elevates it above the waist, those are the ones that are hittable. And Rowland all over it. Two dingers in the inning, and it's a one-run game.
Ball one to Jay Bruce. Right now. Back to the mound, and this ought to do it. It will. So an opening day win for the reigning Central Division champions, led by who else? Albert Pujols. He has 4 hits, drives in 3, hits a pair of home runs. 11 runs, 12 hits for St. Louis, 6 runs, 11 hits for the Reds. As the Reds score 4 in their last 3 at-bats, but come up 5 short.
Opening week baseball is presented by Mitsubishi Motors. This afternoon, the St. Louis Cardinals look for an early sweep against the Cincinnati Reds. 9 appearances, and he appeared on opening day with 2/3 of an inning, gave up a couple of hits, a run that was earned, walked 1 and struck out 1. It's Johnny Gomes who's 1 for 3. 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. Gomes a single back in the second to right field. He's flied to left and also struck out. Upstairs, 2 balls, no strikes, and Mott, as was the case in opening day, falling behind on these hitters.
And it's another situation where you got a young guy out there that's got a lot of promise, still trying to harness his pitches in the strike zone.
2-1.
And one thing I'll say, Mott is, at least at this stage of this year, is throwing harder than he did early in the season last year.
2-2. So Chris Perez picked up a save last night for the Indians over the White Sox.
Saw that also. It's closing there now that Kerry Wood is hurt.
2-2, pulled foul. Kerry Wood could be out for more than 2 months, they're saying.
Advantage of a mistake pitch, and he hits a drive deep left center field, and this one belongs to the Reds. On a 2-2 pitch, Johnny Gomes lights up Jason Mott, and the Reds are in the win column for the first time in 2010. A Johnny Gomes home run, and they defeat the Cardinals 2-1.
falling behind the count when you have to throw just fastballs, and this kid's got some power, and he jumps on a high fastball and hits that line drive out to left field. Mott knew it, Holiday knew it, no place to go but into the dugout. And you don't want to see the Reds celebration.
So the Cardinals dropped their first game of 2010. Back with more in the postgame show coming up.
Let's take a look at it in the 9th inning. Johnny Gomes in a 1-1 game, and just like that, one mighty crack of the bat, sending the Reds home winners by a final count of 2-1. And naturally, Johnny even excited at the ballpark today.
It was exciting, but it's sorry to say in this game, it's already yesterday's news. We're going to come to town, and more league games. We got to win as many league games as we can. And that was a good win yesterday. We all threw a little party at home plate, brought the guys together early in the season. So we're going to try and see if we can make that roll.
Esmailin Caridad, hard-throwing rookie right-hander, delivers strike one to Johnny Gomes.
Third day in a row, Caridad has taken the ball and taken the mound.
Caridad was pitching in Japan 2 years ago. And the Cubs signed him. He went from AA to AAA in 08 as a starter. And he had high hopes for him. He won 13 games. Then last year, started 25 games in AAA. Things did not go well. They brought him to the major leagues. He pitched in 14 games out of their bullpen and was lights out. So this 26-year-old Dominican is now the primary right-handed setup man, trying to get the ball to their closer, Carlos Marmol. Cubs lead 3-1. 2-2 on Johnny Gomes leading off the 8th. There's ball 3. Curry died during the spring, and not sure what you can read into spring training, but one thing he did not do was show much wildness. He only walked one batter all spring, and he's walked his first batter here tonight. It's amazing. You wait to the 8th inning to have by far and away your most patient at bat all night long.
Well, let's hope Hernandez can stay as hot as he has been. He had a line drive out in the 3rd inning and a line drive down the left field line for a double back in the 5th.
There's ball 1 up and away.
Caridad wants to keep the fastball on the outside corner away from every hitter that stands up there. Not going to pitch inside much at all.
Breaking ball away, and it's 2-0.
Now, he thought that he had a strike 3 on the pitch to Johnny Gomes, and he got a little bit frustrated. You could see him snap the ball back from the catcher, Coy Hill, there. That shows me a little frustration for the right-hander, and Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach for the Cubs, is going to come out and have a little conversation and try to calm down his right-hander.
The Reds are only down 2. It's 2-0 to Hernandez, and he takes outside, ball 3.
So Caridad thinks that pitch is a strike, and that's a good 6 inches off the plate. Watch Fox tracks here where that ball is shown out there. That's how far that ball is outside.
Well, that one caught the corner. 3-1 now to Ramon Hernandez. Chris Dickerson stands in the on-deck circle. A leadoff walk to Gomes here in the 8th inning. And now a walk to Hernandez. Well, now you have an interesting decision if you're Dusty Baker. You're down by 2 runs. Your team only has a grand total of 3 hits. And you hear the adage all the time, about playing to win on the road and playing to tie at home. I don't know about you, Cowboy. I've never bought into that theory, but it is a theory. I mean, the question is, do you ask Dickerson here to put down a bunt if he does so successfully, you still have a very slow runner out at second base. And you wonder if it would take 2 hits to score 2 runs instead of just a single.
I think what you have to do here if you're a manager is, what do you think about the bullpens? Do you think you can outpitch him in the bullpen? If you do, you bunt.
Well, he bunts. This could be a hit. Dickerson racing up the line, and he is safe. You knew when he put it down that Ramirez was tardy coming down the line, and Cabrera was not going to get there. So that is a bunt single for Dickerson, and the Reds have him loaded.
Watch the bunt here by Dickerson. It's a sacrifice bunt. He makes sure that it's fair, but it's such a good bunt that Ramirez has to come in and make a do-or-die play. The ball bounces. It draws Fontenot off the bag, and now they're going to take care of that slow runner at second base, take Hernandez out of the ball game, bring in Paul Yanish to run, and now you've got speed all the way around the base paths and at home plate with Stubbs coming to hit.
The bases are loaded with nobody out. Stubbs has hit the ball very hard twice in the game. A triple, a line out to third, and a bounce out to third. And it's ball 1. First time all night long, this very good crowd at Great American Ballpark has something to get excited about. They want to get more excited.
Cardiac Kids.
High drive and a deep left center field. Is this a grand slam? Yes! Oh, baby, we talked about this Cub bullpen and how you don't throw in the towel going to the 8th inning. First career grand slam for Drew Stubbs. How about that? Cowboy. How are we looking?
It's amazing what you can do to put the pressure on the opposition. A great decision to bunt there, move the runners, but more importantly, what it did is it applied some tremendous pressure on the pitcher, Cabrera. Well, Cordero will have to earn this one tonight.
Here's Chad Tracy, his first year with the Cubs, and looks at ball 1. Tracy initially came up with Arizona, had a couple of very good years for them. Injuries have slowed him down in recent seasons. Giannis charged with an error on that last play. They're loaded with 2 away in the 9th. 1-1 to Chad Tracy. Fukudome is the tying run. The lead run is Soriano at second. A check swing. Cordero makes sure, and the Reds have won it.
Wow.
It wasn't easy. It wasn't pretty, but the fireworks are in the air out in right center field as the Reds get a grand slam from Drew Stubbs in the 8th inning. And beat the Cubs, hang on to defeat the Cubs by a final count of 5-4. A gutty effort by Homer Bailey. Great work out of the bullpen by Micah Owings, who gets the win. And Cordero gets his first save of this season, sending the Reds to a 2-2 record on the year.
Well, I can remember those days.
His first pitch as a professional is strike 1 to Ryan Terrio.
He's got the poise, all of the sinking fastballs, the great breaking balls, but the location is key, and he's already starting on the money. Getting in your rhythm, getting a deep breath, and getting back to where you need to be.
Lee loves to swing 3-0. And here comes a 3-0 pitch. A 4-pitch walk to load him up with nobody out. And now Brian Price will come to the mound for a visit. The Cubs have him loaded with nobody out, and here's Aramis Ramirez. Strike one.
The biggest thing for Leak right now is to forget about everything that's going on around him and just look at Hernandez and the mitt, because that's all that matters.
Popped up. Infield fly rule in effect. Brandon Phillips will handle it, and that's out number one. The first out recorded by Mike Leak.
I don't put it past this kid to get a ground ball right here in a double play, and what looks like a nightmare of an inning turns into spectacular fashion.
Marlon Byrd, the batter. Byrd has started the year 2 out of 15, and both of his hits are home runs. He's knocked in 4. He did not start the opener this series. He went 0 for 3 yesterday. 1 ground ball and a pair of fly balls to right. Strike one.
Crossed him up. Put down slider. Hernandez put down slider. He threw him a fastball. It's a good thing he fouled it off. That one may have been headed for the backstop or the throat of the catcher.
0-1 to Marlon Byrd with the bases loaded, and now it's strike 2 as it's fouled off to the first base side out of play. Nothing into the count on Marlon Byrd. Pitch in the dirt, and Marlon doesn't chase it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The last player to go straight to the major leagues after being drafted, ironically enough, is here today. Xavier Nady, when he did so with the San Diego Padres back in June of 2000. 1-2 to Marlon Byrd. And again, try to get him to chase Gannon away, and Byrd doesn't even the count. All right, Cowboy, this figures to be the action pitch in this at bat here. League does not want to go 3-2. What do you throw him here?
It's either going to be a sinker or a third breaking ball.
Struck him out swinging for out number 2.
That's a good call by Hernandez there. Threw him 2 4-seamers early in the count that he fouled off. Came back with a sinker here, and you see the bottom drop out of that bad boy. Watch the ball drop right underneath the bat. That ball's going straight down. What Byrd sees is the same fastball as he got for the first 2 pitches, except this one is 4 miles an hour less. He's out in front, and the ball had action.
Now Alfonso Soriano with 2 down, the bases loaded. The inning started with a walk to Terrio, a double by Fukudomi, and a 4-pitch walk to Lee. Since a pop-up and a strikeout. And it's in the air, and this should end the inning. Phillips pulled off by Bruce, and how about Mike Lee? You talk about cool, you talk about poise. Bases loaded, nobody out, and comes away unscathed. Welcome to the big leagues, Mike Lee. You know, Dusty Baker and Walt Jocketty noticed right from the start about Mike Lee. It's interesting we bring up that point because, you know, a lot of guys in spring training, they'll get their work in, and on days when they're not playing or they're not pitching, you know, they might take off a little bit early. And the thing about Leak is he would stay the entire game, every game, and he has his first major league hit in his first major league at bat.
Well,
congratulations, young man.
We've talked about this from the time that we saw this kid throw the baseball in the first game in spring training. let's don't make any mistake. This kid's the real deal, and we're not overreacting or trying to make him out to be something that he's not, and that it's not a precursor of how well he's going to do in the big leagues. But for right now, at this moment in time, this kid is the real deal.
The same game, every turn in the rotation. Leak would start one game, Wood would start the other. There's ball 4, and you got to believe Dusty will come get it. And here he comes. The only chink in the armor, the 7 walks, 2 of them coming here in the 7th inning. Still no sign made by Dusty Baker that Leak is coming out of this game, and now the sign is given. Well, congratulations, Mike Leak.
I thought he pitched a heck of a ball game.
And this crowd in Cincinnati will stand and cheer the 22-year-old Californian. Major league debut, 6 2/3, only 4 hits allowed and 1 run. Our Skyline Chili call to the bullpen brings on Andrusic. 1 ball and 1 strike to Rolen, who's been on twice. Rolen has been on twice. Leak has been on twice. Both earning their way on. Drew Stubbs bounced out trying to put down a sacrifice bunt, so he reached safely with the lead runner being thrown out at second base. Well, those are the only 3 Reds that have sniffed first all day long against Gorzolani. The only threat offensively in the game came in that 6th inning, with Stubbs at first and 1 out. He stole second, stole third, all during the at-bat to Orlando Cabrera. And Cabrera had a count of 3-1 with Stubbs at third. Gorzolani struck him out. Pulled him on a changeup and then a slider. That ball ripped into left center field by Rolen. But a tying run aboard with 1 out here in the 7th inning.
This is what makes Scott Rolen so good. He has the ability to foul off pitches that he cannot put into play, and then when he does get a pitch that he can hammer, he makes sure that he hammers it.
Now Ramon Hernandez, who was struck out and bounced out to short. Sean Marshall, a left-hander, begins to throw in the Chicago bullpen. Marshall off to a great start this year. Has retired every batter that he's faced.
He was awfully good in spring training as well.
Ismailin Caridad, who gave up the grand slam to Drew Stubbs in the 8th inning in the series opener, warms up alongside Marshall. Breaking ball in there, a strike. Up and away, 2-1 to Hernandez.
And I think if you start to put the pressure on Gorzolani, i.e. get some runners on base or a runner in scoring position with less than 2 outs, Gorzolani doesn't throw that same aggressive style of pitching that he's thrown thus far. But the Reds have not had anybody out there.
Well, except for that one at bat to Cabrera, and I mean, you got to give it up to Gorzolani in that at bat. After falling behind 3-1, he threw him a 3-1 change. And Cabrera was so far out in front, and then that pitch you documented, that slider on the strikeout pitch. Two and one on Ramon Hernandez. Rolen's only taking about a 1.5 step lead over there.
And I think sometimes for different pitchers, instead of shaking off, they'll throw a ball over to first base to try to get the catcher to give him another sign.
Well, Gorzolani has been so impressive here today. Whether it's that slow overhand breaking ball, location with a fastball, he's only walked one batter. That slider he's mixed in from time to time has been very good.
And even when he's left balls in the center of the plate, the Reds have fouled them off. That angle by which he's throwing the baseball has really kept the Reds off balance.
Pitch outside, 3-2. We got to wonder if this will be the final batter one way or the other for Gorzolani. It'll be his 93rd pitch of the afternoon. They have Cabrera, the right-hander. They have Marshall, the left-hander, ready in the pen. Rolling not going. It's ball 4, and the Reds have 2 on with 1 out in the 7th inning. Lou Piniella walks down from where he sits and now walks up the dugout steps. And let's see what Piniella decides to do here. You have to ask yourself the question, if you're going to take him out. Johnny Gomes has been announced as the pinch hitter. But if he brings in the right-hander, Cabrera, the Reds unquestionably go to their bench and send up, one would guess, Jay Bruce, a left-handed batter. So do you like that matchup, or do you bring in Marshall and let him face Gomes? Of course, the third option is you don't take either one of them into the game and you leave the starter out there, which is exactly what took place. I'm not sure he even said anything to him besides go get him, young man. So Johnny Gomes to face Gorzolani with 2 on and 1 out. And there's a pitch in the dirt and a real nice play made there by Giovanni Soto.
If you have some patience right now as Johnny Gomes, Gorzolani will give you something in the heart of the plate. He'll fall behind. Pitching with runners in scoring position is not Gorzolani's forte.
Gorzolani off the rubber, right back on it, looking into Soto for the sign. Rolling at second, Hernandez at first with 1 out to Johnny Gomes. A 1-0 pitch. 1-1. Gomes 0 for 2, is grounded to second and struck out. He's 2 out of 13 to start this season. With 1 RBI, that was a game winner in the 9th inning against St. Louis on Thursday.
That's 3 pitches in the dirt. Well, I'm telling you, he's not going to throw you a strike with a runner out there until he has to. I've watched him pitch in that Pirate uniform too long.
Gorzolani ahead in the count, 1-2. And Gomes barely got a piece. I mean, he's just going to keep flipping up that breaking ball. It's going to end up in the dirt.
Well, why not if the guy's going to swing at it? As a hitter, you've got to transfer that pressure to the pitcher. For right now, for Gorzolani, he knows the pressure's on Gomes.
Gomes adjusting that helmet. Right foot in the box, left foot in the box. Behind in the count, 1-2 with 2 on and 1 out in the 7th inning. And Gorzolani to the plate. In the air, left field. Soriano giving chase and dropped the ball. Roland's going to be held at third base. So the adventures of Alfonso Soriano continue in left field. Boy, if you're a Cub fan, with all due respect, Soriano, who can swing the bat, knowing you have this year and 4 more years left on his contract playing left field, my, oh my.
That's embarrassing.
Well, Lou Piniella this time has to come get Gorzolani. He made his pitch to get the out on Johnny Gomes. That's a ball that has to be caught. But the Reds will take the break, and we'll see if they can capitalize on it when we return. Well, here here comes Sean Marshall. He takes over for Gonzalez. Marshall has been perfect this season. He's faced 13 batters, retired them all, and has struck out 7 of the 13. Miguel Cairo sent to the plate to pinch hit for the Reds, batting for Chris Dickerson. Cairo has been used twice as a pinch hitter. He's 0 for 2. Tying run at third, lead run at second. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. They're in on the corners, Lee and Ramirez. And Marshall to the plate. Breaking ball in there, strike, and that is the best pitch in the repertoire of Sean Marshall.
Big, tall lefty. Ball starts a good 2 feet outside and then snap right to the outside corner.
Knocked down. This is going to bring in a run, and everybody's going to be safe. A pinch hit RBI single to tie the game by Miguel Cairo.
Right off the glove of Marshall, and you just couldn't have wished it any better.
But real good hitting. First major league at bat had a single to center. His next major league at bat, he had a single in the right. So here we go, tied at 1, heading for the bottom of the 8th inning. We bring you up to speed on Aroldis Chapman. Look at those numbers. 4 2/3 innings. Has allowed 4 hits, thrown 83 pitches, walked 1, and fanned 9. In his debut for Louisville, that game in Toledo. Couple of changes defensively for the Cubs as we begin the bottom of the 8th inning. Tyler Colvin stays in the game to play left field. And a new battery. Coy Hill takes over behind the plate. And John Grabo takes over on the mound. And that is a base hit by Orlando Cabrera to begin the inning.
That's Cabrera right there, trying to shoot it right between the first and second baseman, Lee and Terrio. I thought Lee was going to catch that, and it just did escape his glove. Terrio got it, but it was too late at that point.
Brandon Phillips is 0 for 3 in the game. Takes up and away, ball 1. Brandon grounded to short in the second, did the same in the 4th, and then struck out swinging, leading off the 7th. Reds have struck out 10 times in this game today against Gonzalez, Marshall, and now Grabo. 2-0. Francisco Cordero cranks it up in the Reds bullpen should they take the lead. And would love to have a save chance in the top of the 9th inning.
See, that's a good pitch to take right there. A changeup that's inside at 2-0. That's not a pitch that you want to hit. He started to go, saw that it was a changeup, and you hold up. That's a good decision.
Came back with a fastball. It's fouled out of play. Don't forget, after Reds baseball, Fox Sports Ohio will break it all down with Reds Live, brought to you by King's Hyundai and the King's Auto Mall. Visit KingsHyundaiUSA.com. That'll be coming up after the game, and we will have highlights for you from not just this game, but from Aroldis Chapman's start. 3-2 to Brandon Phillips.
1 walk and 9 strikeouts through what, about 5 innings? That ain't bad.
Ain't bad at all. All right, you start a runner here, 3-2, 1-1 game.
No doubt about it.
3-2 to count on Brandon Phillips. And they're going to send Cabrera back to the bag.
Not only would I send him, I'd put him in a 3-point stance.
Three and 2 on Phillips. Runner goes, and a check swing and a foul ball.
sure that my guy from first base can score on a ball that gets in the gap. I don't think about staying out of the double play. I don't think negatively.
There's a base hit into left field. Cabrera going to make a hard turn. He's coming to third. Here comes a throw, and he's in there safely. How about that aggressive base running by Orlando Cabrera?
That's why you run them right there. And now the pressure is on the Cubbies.
Was this great base running by Cabrera. A lot of guys still would have stopped on that single.
The play is in front of Cabrera. He's running. The ball had not gotten to Colvin by the time he rounded second. Colvin had to back up a step because the ball took a short hop on him. He couldn't field it coming in. Cabrera sees that. That's an instinctive play by Cabrera. And your instincts are always your best decision makers.
So now the go-ahead run stands at third with one out for Scott Rowland, who's had a good day today. A walk, a couple of singles, has scored a run. One and oh to Rowland. Throw down to first, and Phillips saw it coming all the way.
It's amazing the change in the type of location, the delivery, where the pitches are, when you put runners in scoring position and put the pressure on the opposition. Now the hitter can relax a little bit and let the pitcher come to you.
Two-0. Nope, another throw will send Phillips to the bag. Two and oh the count, and it's low ball three. Well, he got a green light rolling here. There's no question about it. Doesn't mean he has to swing. You've got the go-ahead run standing down at third base with one out here in the eighth inning. Nowhere close to the strike zone. So now does Lou Piniella bring on Caridad? Apparently he will.
He's already signaled for it.
Ramon Hernandez coming up. The Reds have him loaded in a 1-1 game, one out in the eighth. Comes on from the Chicago bullpen. He got the loss here in the series opener. All one up and away.
I wonder if he's thinking about the last time he pitched with the bases loaded.
Well, the last time he faced this guy, which started that eighth inning. After walking Johnny Gomes, Caridad walked Ramon Hernandez. 2-0. The Reds then got a bunt hit from Dickerson, who was sent up there to sacrifice the runners over. And got the grand slam from Drew Stubbs.
But I mean, Caridad has got to be thinking that last time I had the bases loaded, I gave up a grand slam.
Two-0 pitch popped up behind the plate, and boy, the Reds got a break right there.
I mean, you're only human. It's got to be in your mind. The bottom line is whether you can overcome it and throw strikes, or whether you throw the thing up there halfway up the backstop.
Well, the Reds had a chance to break the 1-1 tie in the seventh inning. Jay Bruce and Drew Stubbs struck out with the bases loaded. And here in the eighth inning, they're loaded for Ramon Hernandez with only one out in the inning. Down the right field line, bending foul. Cabrera started the inning with a base hit. 1 out later, went to third on a single by Phillips. Then the Reds loaded him up on the walk to Rowland. And again, Hernandez wants time. 2-2 on Ramon Hernandez. Just off the inside corner. Caridad wanted that call and didn't get it.
Check it out on the Fox track. Close, but no cigar.
3-2 on Hernandez. Foul away. Reds with a chance to take the lead for the first time today. And Caridad has walked in the go-ahead run. Lupinella has seen this bullpen already through the first week of a Major League Baseball season. Second game of the year. Had a 1-run lead in the 8th inning. Graybo gave up a 2-run home run to Chipper Jones. Friday night here, they had a 3-1 lead in the 8th inning. Caridad gives up a grand slam to Drew Stubbs. So they're still loaded for Johnny Gomes and still only 1 out.
Well, Tom, there's only so many times that you can pitch Marshall and Marmol. The other time, somebody else has got to step up and take the bull by the horn.
But Derek Lee going to come in and try and settle Mr. Caridad down. Johnny Gomes digging in with a count of 2-0. We saw Hernandez a moment ago swing 2-0. And fouled it back out of play. Gomes swings 2-0. Lifts a fly ball in the right field. Fukudome the catch. Tagging and scoring is Phillips. Nice job by Johnny Gomes. And the Reds lead 3-1. Scott Rowland advances second to third. Real good job there by Johnny Gomes.
This is a point where you have to make sure, regardless of where the pitch is, that you get the ball into the air. And Gomes is a fly ball hitter. The ball is out over the plate. It's up. If you try to pull that pitch, there's a chance you'll pull it on the ground in a double play. Gomes instead stays right on the ball and drives it the other way and gets the job done.
Man who strides to the plate right now, Derek Lee. He homered, and I mean hit it way back into left center field on Friday night. That was the first time Derek Lee had ever collected a hit against Cordero. Center field, room for Stubbs. And the Cubs are down to their final out. That ball was hit off the end of the bat. Not by much, however.
Looked like a breaking ball down and away, and Lee was committed to it before the ball started to break. Still looked like he got a decent swing to it, but as you said, Tom, with that ball breaking down, he got it off the end of the bat.
So now Aramis Ramirez in his career is 4 for 10 against Cordero with a home run. But day which began with Mike Leake becoming the 21st player in the history of baseball since the advent of the draft. It was 1965 to go from the draft, never play a game, never throw a pitch in a minor league game, straight to the major leagues. And what a remarkably impressive performance. Yes, he walked 7, but he only allowed 4 hits and 1 run in 6 2/3 innings. 1-2 now on Ramirez. And behind Leake, Andrusic, Masick, and now Cordero trying to finish off a 5-hitter. Reds win. Well, after dropping 2 of 3 to the Cardinals, and you're going up against the likes of Carpenter and Wainwright, you come back in a series against the Cubs, 2 teams that finished 1-2 in the National League Central last year, and Cowboy, you finished straight up, 3 up, 3 down.
Well, we talked about it before the ball game about starting pitching and how much difference it would make for this club this year, especially with the strong bullpen right out of the gate. Everybody's throwing the ball well, especially the youngster Mike Leake today. Wow, what a performance.
Well, you can't do better than the first week of this season with this Reds rotation.
Dusty Baker hoping that Nick Masick can get this game to the 10th. 2-2. Missed.
I don't think he'll go with that curveball here. He's thrown a couple of really good 96-mile-an-hour fastballs. I think that's what Cody's going to see. Cody's a good fastball hitter. He's seen a couple of them now. Let's see if he has a good swing on them.
Everybody will be on the move. Full count, 2 outs. Here's a pitch. In the air, twisting and turning and out of play. So every pitch that Ross has seen in this at bat has been a fastball.
One thing as a hitter, when you see that many of a guy who's throwing pretty hard, you start to time it, you start to zero in on it a little bit.
We'll do it again. Nick Masick, the 3-2. Ross with a ground ball out to short. Cabrera to first in time. And the Reds survive the 9th. We go to the 10th. 5-5. Burke Badenhop will take over. The Marlins have gone to their pen now for Tim Wood, Dan Meyer, Clay Hensley, Leo Nunez, and now the guy they call the Hopper. He gets Joey Votto, Brandon Phillips, and Scott Rowland.
Obviously because of his name, but if you notice, he delivers and he kind of hops after he delivers the pitch.
1 ball, 1 strike. Votto has faced Badenhop before and had success. Votto has had success against a lot of people. You talk about a guy that's kind of flown under the radar. Votto was 5th in the National League in hitting last year. He was 4th in doubles at 38, 5th in slugging percentage. His on-base percentage, .414 last year.
I like the fact that a couple of years ago, when he was a rookie, hit 24 home runs. The only Reds rookie to hit more home runs was Frank Robinson.
He was 2nd that year to the Cubs' Giovanni Soto for Rookie of the Year.
not a good start, and really that's the first walk of the season for Burke Badenhop in his 5 innings, working now in his 6th.
Freddie wanted to, if at all possible, stay clear of the hopper. Who worked on Thursday, worked 3 innings on Thursday. Badenhop 2 innings on Saturday. There's a strike. Phillips had a bunt base hit and was one of the key sequences in the ball game. Phillips, a bunt base hit and an error by Jorge Cantu sent him to second. A ground ball sent him to third. Dan Meyer came in, walked the only lefty he faced, and Clay Hensley had to clean up, and he did. He got the last 2 outs of the 8th. And Phillips didn't score. Leo Nunez worked a perfect 9th. Badenhop does have a good move to first.
So if you're thinking about it, the 2 pitchers that Freddie has left in the bullpen are 2 guys that have struggled. Jose Veras and Raniel Pinto.
And if this game goes into the 11th or the 12th, there's a pretty good chance they're going to pitch.
Well, yeah, and you wouldn't think he'd even go more than 1 inning with Badenhop.
That's why a manager has to use everyone that he's got. Because if you start protecting guys down in the pen and shying away from guys, then the workload increases on everybody else in the bullpen. Badenhop has to wait a bit and then fires a strike. Ugla just a bit late getting over there. Phillips, not many cleanup hitters in the game, will drop down a sacrifice bunt.
No, they won't. It's a unique spot that he hits in, but he's been so successful there, and he's surrounded by Votto and Rolen. It's not a bad part of the lineup that Dusty Baker has. Yeah, you talked about the innings for the Hopper. Thursday, with the 3 innings, he threw 35 pitches, and on Saturday in his 2 innings, 26 pitches.
Rolen was big early in this game. Our Coors Light cold hard blast. Take your pick. You could have had the one in the 2nd. Instead, this is the breaking ball for the 4th. He hit a Nolasco fastball out to right and took the breaking ball out to left.
Well, if he stays healthy, he will go over 300 home runs this year. Rolen, with 3 on the year, has 286 now in his career.
A real desire to play close to home. He's from Jasper, Indiana. And so getting a chance to play in the Midwest for him, a big part of why he came from Toronto to Cincinnati. Badenhop, with all the movement he's got, is able to bring that ball back to the outside part of the plate. Breaking ball, soft glider over Ugla's head. Ross charging. Here comes Votto, and the throw is up the line. The Reds have the lead. Boy, how close. A good pitch. Rolen hit it off the end of the bat.
I tell you what, that was just good hitting. This slider away, off the plate, end of the bat, and good base running by Votto, because he didn't hesitate. That ball's caught. Look at Votto going off second. If he hesitates, then he doesn't score on that. But he got a good jump. He either guessed or he just realized that ball was going to go over the head of Dan Ugla.
An 8-pitch at bat. Coughlin just keeps fighting him off. A 9-pitch at bat. Number 10 on the way. Sharp ground ball, Cabrera, and the Reds get game 1. A run in the 10th does the trick. Cordero shuts the door, and Cincinnati wins the first of a 4-game series here tonight in South Florida. The Reds and the Marlins both now at 4-3 on the season. A lot of twists and turns in this one tonight. Cincinnati 6, the Marlins 5. Marlins 5 is coming up from Sun Life Stadium, where the Reds are winners tonight. Johnny Gomes rips one left field and deep and gone. A walk-off winner earlier this year. Johnny Gomes just launched one just shy of the blue seats. We told you last night he's one of those all-or-nothing guys, a huge swing, and when he connects, stuff like this happens.
Now look where he got this slider that didn't slide in on his hands, and that quick.
A larger sample size. My partner has preached that from day one. So you would be a great pollster. Need the larger sample size.
High drive into left center field. Going back to the wall is Coughlin and Ryan Hannigan. A 3-run home run. His first home run of this season. And the Reds have their largest lead of this young 2010 year. It is a 6-1 game.
And smile. A pair of 3-run homers.
Well, the first 6 games, the Marlins allowed 2 home runs. Against Cincinnati, they've given up 5 already.
Of course, these runs are all unearned because of the Cantu error.
And 2 to Joey Votto. Broken bat over the head of Ramirez into left center, and Dickerson will score, and Joey Votto delivers with a broken bat flare into left center, giving the Reds a 9-8 lead here in the 11th inning. How about that?
What a great at bat for Joey Votto. You know, they had his shirt taken off by the previous pitch. Had a cutter away, and not a bad pitch at all by Dan Meyer.
Almost had this ball, but it was shot out there very hard. Hanley Ramirez couldn't get to it. Votto with a sweet swing, and the Reds take the lead.
Now Meyer has to keep it at 1 run, and Brandon Phillips has 3 hits tonight. Off the glove of Helms. Up with the ball is Coughlin. Runner coming home. Throw to the plate is late. Stubbs will score. 10-8.
Well, what a night for Brandon Phillips. A couple of balls hit hard, the last 2 by Votto and Phillips.
A lot going on around the vet at 3 or 4 in the morning. Maven down on strikes. Cordero's made quick work of Coughlin and Maven. And all that stands between Cordero and save number 4, the Reds and win number 5, is Hanley Ramirez. Fastball is a strike from Cordero. No television tomorrow, so come out to the ballpark or listen on the Marlins radio network. Chris Volstad and Homer Bailey. This is a night that Homer Bailey should have pitched. The Reds hit 2 3-run homers. The Marlins had a 3-run shot. But in the end, it's the Reds, just like last night.
Stubbs trying to get him off the snide.
Brandon Phillips shoots one deep to left field, and Brandon Phillips has left the yard. That'll help some of those offensive numbers just for a bit. Brandon Phillips with home run number 2 on the year. The Reds on the board, trailing 3-1. And he went up there looking right away to jump on something.
Jumping on a first pitch heater is Brandon Phillips. A sinking fastball just around knee high, and boy, does he get the bat head through the zone. Good shot right there on our Exmo. Look at that home run swing by Brandon Phillips.
Weekend it kept rolling as a spectator. Jay Bruce tags one into right center field, and that'll be a base hit, and that one will get to the wall. Rowland will hit third. He's being waved home. Bruce is going to scoot all the way down to third base, and an RBI triple by Jay Bruce. 3-2, Reds down a run.
Well, Jay Bruce gets an 0-1 breaking ball fastball, making it one that was kind of running away from him, but it got up. And he's got plenty of plate coverage, and he hit the ball hard twice on Sunday with home runs, and he hits this one in the right center field gap. Drive Scott Rowland all the way around, and all of a sudden now it's a 1-run ball game. And Stubbs ends up on third.
Joey Votto. Deep right field. Forget about it. 2 more in as Joey Votto goes deep. Cracks his second homer of the season as the Reds throw 2 more on the board. A high fly to deep right field. 9-3 Redlegs.
Well, maybe all the Reds needed was a day off to go back home, get a little bit rested, take their minds off of baseball and that 3-game sweep at the hand of the Pirates, and come on back swinging the bats. And they've done exactly that tonight. Joey Votto on our Exmo. Aya!
High and deep. Jay Bruce with his game Sunday, his 6-2 homer game in his career, and the Reds have shown their flair for late inning dramatics, leading the league with most wins in their last at bat. Count 2-2, the right fielder. Those 2 home runs he hit Sunday looked like they were just such nice, easy swings with solid contact.
Well, they were breaking balls. One was very impressive because it came off the arm of a left-hander. The other was off of a right-hander. But if you chart them in the strike zone, exactly the same spot, each of them.
Troncoso, the right-hander. trouble finding the strike zone. With his base hit tonight, Jay Bruce now has hit safely in 6 of his last 8 games. Count his run full. Tie 9-9 ball game. Bottom of the 8th inning here at Great American Ballpark. Ball 4.
Good eye right there by Jay Bruce, and that begins to show me that Jay Bruce is coming around a little bit. You know, young players, you're going to see them streak hot and streak cold, and oftentimes when they're streaking cold, they chase those marginal pitches, but recognizing that as down and out of the strike zone early enough to hold back on it gives the Reds a base runner.
And on a night when the Dodger pitchers have been stingy with the base on balls, that's only the second they've allowed. Count 3-0. All 4, so 2 on for the Reds. Back-to-back walks by the Dodger reliever. Sorry, 2 walks in the last 3 at-bats. Reds trying to do some business with 2 outs and break up a 9-9 deadlock. Bruce at second. Hernandez at first. Shortstop Paul Janisch in his first at-bat. Average right at 300. Ramon Troncoso. Janisch to left field. Charging is Manny. Won't get it. Reds will have a run come to the plate in the place of Jay Bruce. Janisch is going to be caught between second and first. There's going to be another run come to the plate as the ball gets dropped at first base. Hernandez scores. So the Reds get 2 and break the tie up. The 11-9 Reds.
Well, the walks of the inning have come back to haunt the Dodgers. This base hit, the only one in the inning, by Paul Janisch, lands in front of Manny. Manny barehands and throws to the plate. Not in time to get Bruce. Now they've got Janisch in a rundown. But there's nobody covering second base right here. And when Belliard looks at that, realizing there's no play at second, he's going to go ahead and think about throwing to home. By then he drops the ball. It's too late. The Reds score 2 and have another one on second base.
11-9 Reds. Belliard. Well, Aroldis Chapman pitching for the Louisville Bats tonight. A little of the information on how the young left-hander from Cuba did. 50 strikes on 88 pitches, 7 strikeouts.
You know, he's still in the ball game from what we understand. 5 strikeouts, right, or 5 walks right there. Of course, that's the one thing that jumps out. The strikeouts you expect. You like to have him have a little better control. Remember,
Jay Bruce gets a hold of one of those slow pitches, and he deposits it in these seats. Home run number 3. Plates Phillips ahead of him and gives the Reds a lead.
Well, what does Tony Perez and Jay Bruce have in common? They both can hit that one. The second time tonight that he has seen a first pitch flip curveball from Vicente Padilla. And it's bye-bye, honey pie.
4-3, Reds with a lead on that bomb from Jay Bruce that scores Brandon Phillips in front of him. So Orlando Cabrera will be the one-out hitter. Quo last year, 35 games with the Dodgers. He had appearances with 3 different teams in their organization: Albuquerque at AAA, Inland Empire, and Glendale. Back in 2000, he had Tommy John surgery. Cabrera, the one-out hitter, bounces it over Crow and into center field for a base hit.
Well, Cabrera is making the best of his ground balls tonight. He's hit one in the shortstop third base hole. He's laid down a perfect bunt, or at least a swinging bunt, and drops one over the pitcher's head there with a 25 bouncer up for a base hit.
And so his 3rd knock of the night. There's a look at what Mike Leake has done. Again, gave up a couple in the first inning and has been scrapping ever since. Joey Votto with an RBI and a sac fly in the first inning. A line drive to the shortstop and a fly ball to the center fielder.
So when you face Quo as a left-handed hitter, there's not a lot of guesswork involved. He does throw mainly a fastball. That was his slider right there at 88 miles an hour, but not a big discrepancy in speed between his breaking ball and his fastball.
Pitching carefully to Joey Votto.
In fact, you mentioned Tommy John surgery for Quo. He actually had Tommy John surgery twice. Once in the year 2000 and then again in 2004.
Votto 2 for 3 in his career against Hung-Chi Quo. Comes up empty in a big cut.
They must have put a couple of bionic ligaments in there. That last fastball was blazing.
It was cooking, wasn't it? Count 2-1 on Joey Votto with an out. On a close play on Dickerson at first. Count favors Votto now at 3-1. Joey Votto with a home run in the first inning last night. Homered in the 4th inning on Tuesday night. Has never homered in 3 consecutive games. How's that for a reverse jinx? Good eye by Joey Votto. Will trot down with the first walk surrendered by Dodger pitching tonight. Arthur Rhodes is warming in the Reds bullpen. Rolling tonight, a couple of fly balls to center field and a ground out to short. And a ball that he hits high in left center field. Going back, and it is off the wall. That's going to bring 2 runs in as Rowland hits second base, and a 2-run double for Scott Rowland. The Reds reclaim the lead.
What a game we're watching tonight. A high fastball that Scott Rowland negotiates way up in the air, way high off the left center field wall. Matt Kemp makes a great effort to try to come down with this ball, but he just can't quite catch up to it. He bangs off the wall, and with 2 outs, both runners come around to score, and the Reds have retaken it again. What a seesaw contest this evening.
Jay Bruce, who homered in his last at-bat, is going to be intentionally walked. Vicente Padilla threw him a ball that would barely dent a stick of margarine, and Bruce knocked it into the bullpen. So they'll take their chances with Drew Stubbs with 2 on and 2 out. Here's Joe Torre and Don Mattingly, his pitching coach. Here's another look at Scott Rowland.
Scott Rowland, typical strong right-hander, likes to pitch up, and that ball was up above the waist, up right around the letters. And back-to-back runs coming across the plate. Cabrera, Votto, and Joey Votto getting happy.
He's a little excited, isn't he?
All right.
So Drew Stubbs, who earlier tonight ended in an 0 for 20 hitless streak. That was with a single in the 5th inning. Mike Leake. Not going to say it. Stubbs bounces this one. Base hit, his second of the night. Rowland is going to be waved home. The throw will be cut off at the mound, and they're going to get the run in for the Reds, and retreating back to first safely is Stubbs. 2-run advantage.
Well, Drew Stubbs coming out of his slump in a nice way tonight. A couple of hits. And one to drive a run in with 2 outs, just slicing it right by the diving Blake DeWitt. And the Reds have struck with 2 now to score 3 and take the lead by 2.
Rowland scores after his RBI double, and Bruce sends up a third.
This is a little more about what we're talking about.
Ryan Hannigan at the plate. The Reds with the 7-5 advantage. Hannigan looking for his 3rd hit of the night. To Belisario, who had a successful effort last night, being tested here tonight and running into some problems. Belisario having some problems finding the strike zone. So single by Cabrera, a walk to Votto. Then a line drive by Phillips, 2-run double by Rowland, intentional walk Bruce, and an RBI base hit by Drew Stubbs. They've gotten this game to 7-5, favor the home team. And Hannigan looks at a strike. Already here in the bottom of the 7th for the Reds, after scoring 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 5th, and 1 in the 1st. Belisario to Hannigan. High chopper by Blake. One more run comes in. Jay Bruce scoring. RBI base hit by Ryan Hannigan. One more run for the Reds, who lead at 8-5.
Well, whereas it seemed like last night everything the Dodgers hit found a hole, tonight it's the Reds' turn to get some good fortune. This high chopper, 1 of 2 or 3 we've seen tonight going through the infield, bouncing over the gloves of the third baseman and the shortstop. Ryan Hannigan gets into the hit parade with 3 of them on the night.
So the Reds trying to take 2 of 3 out of this series. Against a Dodger team that had their way the last 2 years in this ballpark. Swing and a miss. 2 out.
Power versus power right here, 3 times in a row. This at bat, Francisco Cordero decided to play good old-fashioned country hardball and just throwing the fastball right by belly art upstairs.
8th strikeout for Reds pitchers tonight. Rafael Furcal, the 2 outs. 2 on for the Dodgers. Reds with an 8-5 lead. Strike. Furcal with a base hit and an RBI. It had 5 base hits in the first 2 games of the series, Rafael Furcal. Strike 2.
Well, it seems like all of a sudden Cordero's kicked it into a different gear.
0-2. The 2 outs and 2 on. Fly ball left field. Dickerson got it. That'll do it. Back and forth the game goes, but the Reds get the victory. 8-5 as Francisco Cordero slams the door. Jay Bruce with a big blast in the ball game as he connected on a 2-run homer in the 6th inning. The Reds also were able to add more by plating 4 in the 7th. And they take 2 of 3 in the series from the Dodgers. And Chris, a starting pitcher, gets the victory.
Well, congratulations to Mike Leake. You know, the first starting pitcher of the season for the Reds to pick up a win, and his first major league win at that. Couldn't have been coming at a better time for the Reds. It was as dismal as it could be last night after that ball game in the thrashing that the Dodgers gave the Reds. But, hey, Leake was unnerved by what the Dodgers did last night, came out and pitched his ball game, and an excellent job against a very good offensive club. A wonderful win against a very fine team. The Reds are going to go home happy tonight. Dusty Baker smelling victory in the air here at Great American Ballpark.
That victory, 8-5, Reds over the Dodgers. We'll be right back.
Gregerson perfect again for 2 innings yesterday, an inning and a third today. And here's Scott Rowland, who had a hit and an RBI taken away in the first by Jerry Hairston Jr. Scott walked and scored in the fourth. Hit a home run leading off the 6th inning. Did he go around? They appealed and nothing doing. Well, the Reds need a win in the worst sort of way. After beginning this homestand, winning 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers, they dropped the first 2 in this series and trying to do something they have done 6 times already this year, and that's win a game in their final at bat. There's a base hit by Rowland into left field to begin the bottom of the 8th inning.
Boy, Rowland having a pretty good day. Last time he led off an inning was the 6th, and he went deep to right center field. Combine that with a base on balls, and he has been on his last 3 times up. Went down to get that slider.
Swing and a miss by Johnny Gomes.
Well, they have not been in a hurry to throw Johnny Gomes a fastball today.
High fly ball, man, he just missed it. Just missed it. Rowland gonna bluff the tag. Perfect throw in from center by Gwynn. 1 away in the inning. Boy, Gomes would like to have that back. It's been a good day as well for Jay Bruce. We talked about Scott Rowland. Bruce, an RBI single in the 4th inning, and then had a double into right center field. Into 6th, was stranded at 3rd, representing the tying run at the time. Right now the Reds have a tying run at 1st, and Bruce the go-ahead run at the plate against Mike Adams. Ball 1. Saw earlier this was a date back in 1976. You may remember at Dodger Stadium when Rick Monday saved the American flag from being lit on fire out in left center field at Dodger Stadium.
Still one of my favorite YouTube videos.
1-1 the count on Jay Bruce. And now 1-2, and it's fascinating to talk to Monday about that event, and not only what happened on the field, but how really his life changed, so unbelievably changed by that one act. And of course he still has that flag. 2-2 to Jay Bruce. Oh, he had a pitch to hit right there, and he knows it. Just tell by his reaction after he fouled it away.
That's the best fastball that Mike Adams has tossed up there. This one coming in there at 94. Kind of had him looking at the slow stuff and sped it up on him.
Two and two to Bruce. And it's pulled down the right field line into the corner. On his way to third is Scott Rowland. And it dives down there in that corner, and they're going to hold him at third base. The ball gets away, and now Rowland to the plate, and he's going to score. And Bruce on the third. The ball got away from Adrian Gonzalez after Mark Perry had already held Rowland, wisely so, but Rowland always alert. Kept an eye on what was going on right in front of him. Same holds true for Bruce, and it's a tie game.
Well, the Padres break down on their fundamentals right here. They missed the cutoff, man. That ball came in there and just a little bit too high for Gonzalez to snag. We kind of got held up in the corner back there, but you weren't going to score Rowland anyway. Venable gets it in, and it's just too high. And maybe Gonzalez didn't get up high enough to get it. Any way you cut it, it's all tied up.
And now Hernandez with a chance for the Reds to get the lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They have Francisco Cordero getting loose in the bullpen. I'm sure that'll be a double and then an error on someone, whether it be Venable and Wright or Gonzalez at first, allowing the tying run to score. 1-0 to count on Hernandez. And it's in there, a strike. The error will be charged to Venable, the right fielder. Boy, it looked like a pretty good throw. I mean, Gonzalez barely had to leave his feet, if at all.
And, you know, he's so far from where Venable was when he threw it. He could have backed towards the infield a little bit to get him a better shot at it.
1-1 to Hernandez. And it's low and away. Boy, you got to get this run in right here, right now.
Well, he's 90 feet away. All you really need is a fly ball. Bruce, a little above average speed at third.
Hernandez knocked in what was at the time a tying run with a single into center field in the 4th inning. And now the 2-1-2 squeeze coming. And it's butted foul. Great idea. And Hernandez could not put it down in fair territory.
Well, at least he was able to foul it off. The nightmare happens when you bunt right through this pitch. I love that play, though.
All right, now Hernandez has to regroup. Bruce back at third. Padres have the infield in. And a 2-2 to Hernandez. They appeal. No. Ted Barrett, the first base umpire. So the count has gone full. Ryan Hannigan has slipped into the on-deck circle. That's a pitcher spot due up next. Arthur Rhodes' spot. But Hannigan trying to give the Reds the lead for the first time today. Can he do it? Still 3-2. Of their 7 wins this year, 6 have come in the Reds' final at bat. And here we are in the bottom of the 8th inning of a 4-4 game. Runner at third and a 3-2 again. And there's a base hit into right field, and the Reds have the lead. Clutch hitting by Jay Bruce and Ramon Hernandez. And the Reds are in front 5-4. How about that?
Boy, a real battling at bat for Ramon, huh? fighting off a couple of tough pitches, taking a marginally high fastball on a 2-2 count before he finds his favorite spot in right field. That's a slider that spun but didn't do much else.
Arthur Rhodes will be taken down for a pinch hitter. A perfect inning out of the bullpen for Rhodes. Bruce scoring the go-ahead run after Jay had doubled in the at-bat prior to the RBI single by Hernandez. Back in the 7th inning. Lincoln and Rhodes lights out of the bullpen in front of Cordero. Lincoln a perfect inning with a strikeout. Rhodes a perfect inning with a strikeout. But now 2 on, 2 out of the 9th. And Hairston down, strike 1. The inning began quietly. A ground out to third by Kyle Blanks. Matt Steers popped up to short left field. But then a walk to Hundley. Cabrera came on to run for him, stole second, went to third when the throw wound up in center field. And then the walk to Tony Gwynn. So the tying run stands at third, the lead run at first. As Hairston goes to get either a new bat or some pine tar on the bat that he had before.
Now the bat he had before is going in the killing pile. I think he went through about a half a box of these babies in this trip.
0-1 to Hairston.
Hairston trying to dry off that barrel, giving him the best shot of a line drive.
Straight away center field. Stubbs is there, and the Reds win it. And again, they win in their final at bat. They have 8 victories on the season. 7 of the 8 have come in their final at bat. Cordero able to smile now. The Reds win it by a final count of 5-4 in Princeton. The Reds need that in the worst sort of way.
Well, the Reds needed this one today, and they came back and played a lot better brand of baseball than they showed yesterday. They thwarted the Padres in their efforts to be a sweep here in Cincinnati for the first time in 10 years. So it did not happen for Bud Black's crew. They'll head on a plane and head to Miami to play the Marlins, and the Reds will tomorrow head out to Houston to play the Astros.
So our final count is 5-4. The Reds win it. Rhodes over Adams. Cordero is 7th save. And we're back with more from Great American Ballpark in a moment.
Rain and high winds this afternoon. The roof is closed tonight. It's only the second time this season. The roof to Minute Maid Park has been closed. Roy Oswalt ready to go to work. Chris Dickerson in the box for the Reds. Reds are going for a sweep of this series. They move on to St. Louis for a 3-game set over the weekend. The Astros are headed for Atlanta for 3 games over the weekend after this one tonight. Joey Votto's 0 for 3.
Votto's hit 3 ground balls. And this one in the air to deep left field, and the rough night for Votto is over. A 2-run home run on a first pitch fastball to the Crawford boxes in left field. And all of a sudden, the Reds' lead over Oswalt is now 3-0. That'll make you forget about those first 3 ABs.
Well, fastball after fastball, and finally Roy Oswalt makes a mistake.
Now lefty on lefty, Tim Burdack versus Jay Bruce. Bruce 1 for 3, a double.
And Jay Bruce blast one to right center. The very first pitch thrown by Tim Burdack out of the Astros bullpen. And that makes it a 4-2 game. 2 huge home runs tonight from the youngsters Votto and Bruce.
Yeah, 2 best friends trying to keep up with each other. Got a first pitch slider. And you know, it's funny because Jay Bruce took every first pitch he saw from Roy Oswalt, but he was not going to sit around and wait for Tim Burdick.
Right there where the hitter wants to swing. It's 0-2.
They're not messing around. Challenging with two heaters. Jeff having two pretty good swings.
Cordero 26th on the all-time save list with 257, 10 behind Bob Wickman. Gave up two in the bottom of the ninth and a loss at Pittsburgh with his blown save, the only one of the year in that game. Tap the shortstop. Cabrera with a toss. Phillips the middleman. And a double play. That ends this ball game, and the Reds sweep this 3-game series. The Astros going to 5-4 on this homestand. They fall to 8-13 for the season. The Reds are at 500 now, 11-11 as they head to St. Louis. Final: Cincinnati 4, Houston 2.
This historic city, the Cardinal fans filing in for Game 1 of a 3-game set with the Cincinnati Reds, and the Reds, like the Cardinals, Al Raboski, playing very good baseball.
Yeah, the Reds have won 4 straight games as well as the Cardinals, so something has to give here. And the Cardinals have the best record in the National League. You hope that continues, and it looks like we've dodged the rain where we're going to get this game underway, and we hope we can get it completed.
The tarp is off the field. We had some rain early on. Here is the batting order for the Cincinnati Reds, and Dusty Baker's ball club begins with Drew Stubbs, Brandon Phillips, and Joey Votto here in the first. Votto and Bruce both homering last night, the hottest of the Reds hitters here tonight. Johnny Cueto will bat ninth and pitch for Cincinnati. Well, he's here, along with a lot of Cardinal fans watching their Redbirds try to win their 6th straight game. They played very well at home. The Cardinals are 8-2 at home, and they're 4 games ahead of the Cincinnati Reds in the National League Central going into action here tonight. The Reds, we've mentioned, swept the Houston Astros.
They're at 500, and everybody in the Central Division is below 500 to get past the Cardinals and Reds.
And early on, the National League Central, if you take a plus-minus of everybody in the division, add them together right now, at least, it's the weakest division in baseball.
San Diego's kind of turned things tipsy-toppy. Tipsy-turvy as they off to a great start.
They've got pitchers I don't even know who they are, Al, and
they're pitching.
And they're pitching well. And they're beating some tough teams. Swept the Giants.
And Adrian Gonzalez.
He can hit a little bit.
Will he be there? How long will he be with that club?
Well, if they keep winning, they may have to keep it. 3-1 the count to Joey Votto, who's already walked twice, and it looks as if Brad Penny is being very careful with him. Again, the rain falling. It's a live shot right outside of Busch Stadium here with the arch in the background. And
Penny's walked 4 tonight. Coming into tonight's game, in his first 4 starts, he only walked 3.
And Jay Bruce had 7 hits in the last 4 Cincinnati Red games coming into action tonight. It added to the 2 for 2.
I was going to say one of the double plays, and he had grounded out. And you would think, even though Mark Berry had a runner thrown out, now with the rain and how slick and wet it is out there in the outfield grass, you have to send a runner on a base hit.
And we'll see if he does. Base hit to center. Rasmus comes on, and no chance to even come home as the throw comes into second base. And we have a tie game here in St. Louis. A 2-out RBI by Jay Bruce, his second RBI of the night. And we'll see what Mark Berry was thinking at third after we look at Fox Tracks.
He set up away, and the ball just got up. He could reach it, sends it back up the middle. Here you see there's no question about it. You're going to send a runner home. By the time the ground ball gets out to the outfield, it's going to be pretty wet and slick.
Colby also playing very deep for Jay Bruce, and we've talked about how the ball's carrying to the outfield today. Sure. Outfielders have to play deep, and you got really no chance to throw out
I would think, just looking at the way the rain is coming straight down, I would think right now the ball's not going to carry as far, but you still can't take that chance and play too shallow.
The wind really has stopped in the ballpark here. And a steady rain continues to fall here at Busch Stadium. Cabrera 0 for 2. Bounced out twice. And he is in the hole now, 1-2. Brad Penny has just 2 strikeouts here tonight. And he's walked 4, given up 6 hits. And we'll see what they want to do with Cabrera here, 1-2.
I would throw to first.
We knew that was coming, didn't we?
Yeah. Fastball away.
It's fouled off at the plate.
Get a lot of balls up, in this start that we're not accustomed to seeing. He's just been so good.
Well, we could give him some leeway, perhaps, Al, that was not getting the low strike early on. Is that part of it?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Most of the time you tell somebody, hey, keep on doing it.
Right.
Splitter here. Even that pitch is up, but it's been a little bit of a fight for him, but still, he's pitching here in the 6th inning. He's allowed 2 runs to this point, under kind of strange conditions.
It's a little uneasy on the mound, the way he's moving with his arm.
Fastball away.
2-2. And I think he's having trouble with the grip. He keeps looking into the dugout here, and going to need to get a pitch here. If he can make it happen here, the Cardinals have a chance to get back up on top in the bottom of the 6th inning, but he certainly seems agitated by the baseball and by the way it feels. And
it even looks slick. It's a little more yellow than white. Fastball away again.
And the 3-2 to Cabrera is swung on and hit over the head of Skip Schumacher and into right field for a base hit. That's the 7th hit of the night for the Reds, and Reds are not done here in the 6th inning, and Brad Penny is talking to the home plate umpire about needing some help there on the mound as he gets this ball right off the shoe tops.
Well, you see the splitter is going down, and he gets the pitch he wanted, and just credit. Good piece of hitter by Cabrera. Now he does have the rosin bag out there.
He just asked for a new one. It looked as if he was asking for one.
And he looked like he wanted it, the batter before, didn't it? Keeps on looking in the dugout like you said, and just having a little trouble. Normally we see him so many times. He may use that rosin bag. Then he takes his hat off. He wipes his hair, as he's trying to get a little moisture on top. He's got plenty of moisture tonight.
He really seems out of sorts, doesn't he, Al? Yeah. I mean, he just does not feel comfortable at all. And, he's going to have to just gut it out here because the umpires are not going to stop play. 1-0 the count now to Johnny Gomes, who's 0 for 2. And he just needs something good to happen right here. I'm not sure he knows where the ball's going right now. The 1-0 pitch is low. This is some kind of a mental exercise for Brad Penny.
I mean, he's worked so well with Dave Duncan. You almost look like he's looking over there. Okay, Dave, what do I do? What do I do? Right. Well, once you get between the white lines, it's hard for that pitching coach to help you. You got to figure it out yourself.
Gomes.
Get in there.
In the hole by the shortstop, Ryan, and into left field. Base hit as the Reds get their first lead of the night on the Gomes RBI base hit, scoring Jay Bruce.
How about that? With 2 outs, the Reds come right back, score a couple of runs. Gomes punches this one right by the shortstop, and this offense refuses to give up. They've had really good at-bats on the night. That ball just beyond the reach of Brendan Ryan, and Johnny Gomes knocks in the go-ahead run.
So the Reds with a 3-2 lead and doing some 2-out damage. Jay Bruce and Johnny Gomes are the RBIs here in the 6th inning.
Franklin warming up just in case the Cardinals take the lead.
Breaking ball misses. Exciting at bat here for David Freese. Cardinals with the bases loaded. Bottom of the 8th inning, trailing by a run.
David's been outstanding in driving in runners.
And he goes the other way very well. The 1-0 pitch is a swing and a miss, a little late on that fastball. Pujols, the runner at third. Matt Holliday, the runner at second. They both had base hits. Yadier Molina intentionally walked as your runner at first. David Freese, a chance to pick up RBI number 15. And a curveball in the dirt. And some pressure right here on Ramon Hernandez, the catcher for Cincinnati, as Massett's thrown a couple of balls in the dirt. He's got that nasty breaking pitch, but Hernandez has to be very alert.
He's a good little catcher that, you feel comfortable as a pitcher. You can bounce a ball up there and he'll block it.
The 2-1 pitch to Freese is swung on and hit on the left side. Rolling to second for one, to first, and it's a double play. David Freese has hit into a 5-4-3 double play, started by Scott Rowland. On to the ninth. We've had some exciting moments in this game, spread out over quite some time. And the 2-2 is hit on the ground to Rowland, and he comes up with it. The long throw to get Green, and he's out. As Green dove into first base, a close bang-bang play, and Scott Rowland turns in a defensive gem to end this ball game. And the Cincinnati Reds take game one of the series 3-2. A close play at first base. Is he out?
Looked like he was out. The naked eye. He's out.
And he's out. Good play.
Good
by the first baseman Votto as well. And that makes a winner out of Johnny Cueto. Scott Rowland slapping the leather all night.